This is a bull trader strategy, in short. BTS, as I mentioned, this is a money-making approach. It's not the Korean singer teams. This is a systematic investment trading approach using both fundamental and technical analysis to win. Our objective is to make money. We are serious about this investment. We want to make money. So it's good if you can pay some attention to this. So BTS incorporating 4 simple steps to make money in the stock market. What are these? First, investment objectives. As I mentioned just now, that's one of the reasons why people lose money. They flip. Sometimes short term, sometimes long term. Say entering as a short term objective, then it switch to long term, then the stock's not performing. So that is tricky, because the criteria for short term stocks and the criteria for investing in longer term stocks are very different. The risk exposures are very different. So it's important to be firm in what you want to achieve in stock investment. After you set objectives, you will know what kind of a risk that you are able to take. So from there, you have to find the stocks that are matching the risk appetites of your capital. All right. So that's why we call a favorite list or monitoring list. So from the monitoring list that you've created, you look for entry. How to look for entry? Before you look for entry, you must set up your entry criteria. What kind of criteria the stock must meet before you go in? This requires a little bit of application of the technical analysis tools. Okay, I will share with you towards the last part of the discussion today. Right. Then after you bought positions, you have to monitor for exit. Again, there are rules. You have to create rules. So if you're short-term traders, your rules can be very different. Your exit rule can be very different from long-term investor, because the short-terms, you can be a scalper, you can be a swing trader, or you can even be a day trader. So you sort of getting yourself involved with many trades with a smaller margin to make profit. Sikit-sikit menjadi bukit. That's what we're saying, that every trades that you go in, you make a small profit. But over time, these small profits will balloon, accumulated into a huge percentage of returns. Okay, let's look at the investment objectives. So there are 3 areas in setting this objective that you have to consider. What percentage of return do you expect from stock investment? So most people say, or industry say that, high risk, high return, but many a times you may be involved with very high risk stocks, but the returns may not be good if you don't have a strategy to manage it well. And then how much risk can your capital take? So as I said just now, in the various categories of stocks, there are stocks where the volatility is very high. When you have high volatility, it means the risk is high, but the returns can be high as well if you know how to manage it. So what kind of risk can you take? What is your investment time horizon? Is it 1 month or 1 week or 5 years? There's a long time for you to see your portfolio to grow. Okay, so after setting your objectives, you have the idea of what kind of stocks you would like to have. Then you can find the collections of stock that meet your fundamental expectations. Normally, when you talk about looking at the stock selection of the stocks, you're very much triggered by the fundamentals as a base. All right. So you can take leads from research recommendations or newspapers recommendations by established stockbroking companies or established papers, those writers. Or best still, If you're more ambitious and eager to learn, you can learn to do your own filter. It can be on a daily basis or weekly basis, depends on your objective, whether you are a short-term traders or you're long-term investors. So many stockbroking companies now offers yeah, this softwares for you to select or filter stocks of high growth, high dividend, or return on equity. Yeah, you can look for all those kind of financial fundamental information to do your screening. So yeah, I personally also teach people how to use the brokers' free market data to establish a spreadsheet to run a daily filter for uptrending stocks. Okay, so that's what to buy. Okay, now after knowing what to buy, when to buy, so you have to look for a trigger, right? So that involves the creation of a few entry criteria. So it depends very much on whether you are long-term investors or you're short-term traders. So the entry criteria for long-term investors, normally we define value investing criteria for, we look for divergence in price and value. Yeah, basically. So if you're value investors, the best time to enter is when the price are being hammered down. Like situation like this, when there's a crisis happening, you know, this overall market sentiment is so weak and so poor that people just throw stocks without reasons. So if you are looking for value buy, that's the time where you have to be actively looking for opportunity to buy. That is if you are value investors or long-term investors. But what if you are short-term traders? So you follow uptrending stocks, stocks with the winning chart patterns and momentum breakouts. So that's where it shows that at a point in time, there are a lot of people interested in the stocks. Yeah, so there are with the huge interest of buying in the market, the chances of the stock's price going up is definitely very high. So you are just looking for that opportunity to make short-term money. Then you should focus on this kind of stocks. Of course, you have to address the issues of how to buy. So how to buy means that if you have only 20,000, how many stocks are you going to buy? Yeah, to be efficient. So if you have 100,000, how many stocks are you going to buy? What kind of stocks are you going to buy? If you have 1 million and above, how many stocks you should have in your portfolio? Are you going to have 20, 50 stocks? No, my recommendation is the best if you are below 1 million portfolio, best is not more than 5 to 8 stocks. Okay, over diversification will reduce or weaken your rate of returns. And how are you going to buy? You're going to break buying into batches. Yeah, not in one shot, not in one day, not in one morning or in one trade. Yeah, so it depends. Okay. After you bought the positions, what are you going to do? You're looking for exit, right? You're going looking to sell to make a profit. Then you move on. So you can look for another opportunity to buy and to make another round of profits rather than sitting on in one stocks. So you have to set criteria for selling. So if you're long-term investors, the criteria can be very different from the short-term traders, as I mentioned. So long-term investors, when to sell? So you look for price breaking major supports. Major, we're talking about longer-term trends, like 150 days, moving averages, 60 days moving averages, and so forth. Or even 200 days moving average. When the price move down these moving averages, you have to sell. Yeah, especially in today's when the brokerage rate is so low, there's no reason for you to hold on to stock that are plummeting, yeah, you can always buy back the stocks when they stabilize. There's no need to be too loyal to the stocks. Our objective is to make money anyway. So if you're long-term investors, you also look for bad quarterly reports. As I mentioned, every a quarter, within 2 months after the closing of the quarter, the listed companies are required to announce their results. So you look for the release of the quarterly reports. Any negative corporate development or industry, or any new laws that may be affecting the continuous smooth performance of the operations of the business. So these are things you look for. But if a short-term traders, then things are more versatile. So you look for bearish reversal candlestick patterns. You look for stocks breaking down the trend line or chart patterns. You look for downtrending signals. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't short in Malaysia today. Otherwise, there'll be another approach. You look for those stocks that are coming down and then just short them. There's another way of making money through trading. All right.